Hi. I know that the start date of the time period listed for this video is already way in the past, but it would really bother me if there was a time gap between episodes, so I did leave out the group buys that have already ended though, which is the reason why the ending section for the keycaps and keyboards were so short, so the group buys in this video at the time of publishing should still be active. Anyways, without further ado, I'm trying to push this video out as fast as possible so that my thoughts section will be more of a shotgun style this time. I'm not really sure what the inspiration is for PBTfans Subarashi, so I don't understand the novelty keys that features cat and butterflies. If they had done a several novelties kit, I probably would not have recommended it, but since it's included in the base kit, you'll get them anyways regardless if you want them or not. It does bump up the price compared to some of the other PBTfans set that don't include novelties, but I think $1 or $5 isn't that bad considering the overall pricing in this hobby. Overall, I think it's a pretty nice looking purple set, and if you've been searching for one, this is a set you might want to consider. Domikey Red Velvet is a set that is inspired by Red Velvet cake. There is a popular K-pop group that is also called Red Velvet, but looking at the novelties, it's pretty apparent that this has more to do with the cake. I'm not a big fan of the novelties in this set either, because they give off this retro emoji / icon vibes, so I'd probably skip that kit, but I do really like the colors. There is a white Alphas kit that is also being offered in the group buy, but I think they make the set look worse, so I'd pass on those. If you've been looking for a red keycap set, I would check out Domikey Red Velvet. The Vanguard 65 is another keyboard that features a slider, similar to a keyboard that was featured in the last group buy video, the Fjord board. While both keyboards are pretty cool, I definitely prefer the Vanguard 65 because I think the layout looks better, and it also comes a bit cheaper at $275 compared to the $350 that the Fjord board went for. There are 4 main color options for the group buy and 2 special edition keyboards, and if you want to be more exclusive, you could check out the special edition versions, though I think that the base colors already look pretty cool on their own. For the US vendor, I personally have never bought some from Cubefront and haven't really heard much from them other than the Doom switches, which apparently suffered from really bad leaf spring ping. I wasn't really able to find much else on this vendor, so you might want to consider doing your own research to be safe, though there are other larger regional vendors that you could buy from if the cost isn't too much. I've been spending too much money recently, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to join in this group buy. However, if you've been looking for a cool looking 65% keyboard, I think that the Vanguard 65 is one you should definitely check out. This keyboard comes from the same folks who designed ePBT Less But Better and the Phase 165 keyboard. I've been looking for a 40% keyboard for my set of KAM Little Dragon ever since Whimsy died, and I've had my eyes on a couple of different projects, but since a lot of them didn't seem like they were going to go anywhere, I decided to pull the trigger on this keyboard. I went with an E-White TPS40 because I felt like it was the easiest to pair just in case KAM Little Dragon doesn't work out, but I also think that polycarb looks really nice. It's a pretty cute but also cool looking keyboard, and it really executes well on its inspiration, which is a Sony TPS Walkman. They did also mention Dieter ROMs again as their inspiration, and I think that this board is more minimalistic and in style with the design philosophy compared to the Phase 165. Then again, I didn't study design, so it's not my expertise, so this may or may not be true. If you've been looking for a sleek 40% keyboard, maybe the TPS40 might just be the one for you. The Join 65 is a new keyboard to the budget segment, and I think it looks quite nice. It's not a huge thing, especially at this price point, but I think it would have been cool if they were able to hide the screws to make the exterior a bit cleaner, but it's a small nitpick. At a starting price of $155, the Join 65 features a top right badge, a stainless steel weight, and a carrying case, so it's a pretty nice package. There is another budget 65% on sale that I'll talk about in a moment, so it's up against some stiff competition. But if the other keyboard doesn't do it for you, maybe the Join 65 will. While we have seen plenty of boards in this hobby inspired by different characters or anime, I think that this keyboard is probably one of the coolest implementations. I'm not the biggest Gundam fan, but I have enjoyed watching several different series, and the Freedom Gundam happens to be one of my favorite. Man, if this came earlier when I was newer in the hobby, I probably would have bought this in a heartbeat. However, at this point where I'm at, and with how much I've already spent this month, I can't bring myself to shell out the $565 to buy this keyboard. I understand though why the designer wasn't able to make this keyboard cheaper, since it's made up of 6 individual pieces and features a big stainless steel middle piece. If you've been on the hunt for a unique board that will stand out, and you've got plenty of cash to burn, the Freedom TKL is definitely the keyboard for you. The Petals 60 is a top-mount 60% keyboard designed by Paul and Sauer. Sauer is a pretty well-known designer in the hobby and has designed some really nice looking sets such as GMK Pono, GMK Dandy, and GMK Wasabi. I was originally really looking forward to this keyboard because I was thinking that I might be able to pick one up to pair with my set of GMK Wasabi, but I'm finding it hard to justify the purchase because the board costs $400 for solder and $420 for hot swap. It's not the most expensive keyboard in this hobby, not by a long shot, but it also doesn't seem to offer that much for what it's asking for, and with so many cheaper boards in this hobby that offer a ton of functionality for a much cheaper price, I can't bring myself to pull the trigger and buy this keyboard. Even if we exclude the super budget companies like QWERTY Keys and Mellotrix, there are plenty of keyboards out there that I feel like outperform the Petals 60. It's honestly kind of a bummer since I do like how the board looks, but at that price point, I think it'd be best to look elsewhere. This is the other keyboard that I was talking about that the Join 65 has to compete with, and it comes from a brand that has firmly established itself as one of the premier brands of budget keyboards, QWERTY Keys. Even though this keyboard is supposed to be a collaboration between Cub Studio and QWERTY Keys, it kind of just feels like an updated QK65 to also feature the badge that was shown on the QK75. That's not necessarily a bad thing though, since I do like how both boards look, but I just wanted to point out that it doesn't really feel like a new keyboard design and more like a QK65 version 2. Colors are cute and the badges are also cute, though for some reason the Cub Studio logo really bothers me, so I don't like how it looks on the weight. I can't really explain because I don't think it's necessarily a bad logo, but I think I would have preferred a different design on the weight or maybe a blank weight. That being said, you probably won't be seeing it all that often, so it's probably something quite negligible. Pricing for this starts at under $65, so it's slightly more expensive than the Join 65, though I don't think that the price is big enough where you should discount this board, since it's just a $10 difference and the Cub 65 includes some really nice goodies, such as a keyboard case, switch puller, and a keycap puller. I probably won't be getting either of them since I already own the QK65, but it's great to see that folks have more options to choose from.